So I just finished my second year of drama and I'm going into my third year in September. How did this happen? I'm pretty sure 5 minutes ago I was leaving school, Will and Kate were getting married and Gangnam Style was still a thing. Please tell me that's not a thing anymore. I'd always imagined I'd go to school, get A-levels, go to uni, get a job, get married, have kids, go to Santa Fe, find my long lost brother who looks like Danny DeVito, then go find our long lost mum. That is the plot to the 1988 film Twins. It wasn't until I was about 15 when I saw my first West End show, Shrek the Musical, don't judge, when I decided that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be Shrek. No, I wanted to be an actor. When I left school with all my GCSEs, I went to sixth form college and I studied A-levels in media, film, drama and English language. I chose Huddersfield because it has a really good drama course and it's not too far away from my hometown. I got really confused about my starting days in terms of getting into accommodation, so I moved in on the very first day that the accommodation opened, which is probably a very big mistake. This is where Molly does no jokes because it wasn't great. I burst into tears as soon as my parents left and I cried all night on my first night because I was terrified. I'd never lived away from home before. This was my very first time and I was going into university. That's a pretty big thing. I was lucky enough to go to uni with a lot of my friends from college, but I still felt very alone because they didn't seem to be as worried as I was. And I was very, very worried. Luckily, the very next day after my first night, a cousin of mine who worked at the university was going home, so I managed to catch a lift from them and wait until I had to be in. I think that first night was the very first time I've ever had a panic attack. I was inconsolable. I was absolutely terrible. And all that time between that night and when I went back, I was a mess. I didn't know what to do. I was terrified of going back and I just felt utterly alone in my feelings about university. I'm not good at being serious. I was scared about a multitude of things. I was scared about not making friends because I didn't go out drinking or go out to clubs and stuff. I was scared that my flatmates weren't going to be nice. I was scared that I wasn't going to be smart enough. I wasn't going to be talented enough. And all of that just came together and I freaked out pretty much every single day. So there was an event at Freshers, which was a tea party, and I went on my own for some bizarre reason. And as I was sat there, I was about ready to just run out and be like, nope. Then this guy came over and we started chatting, and he turned out to be from a town not far away from where I lived, and we had very similar interests, and we just talked about life at uni. He was in his third year, he was about ready to leave, and all of his friends came over, and suddenly I just felt like, oh, this is why I'm at uni, to have a great time like that guy did. And I'm really thankful that that guy came to talk to me. I don't know if he'll ever see this, but thank you, you. I got into this cycle of going home every weekend and surviving the week, but I eventually got used to it, and here I am at the end of my second year, and I bloody love uni. Uni's amazing. I've met so many people, I've learnt so much, and I love it. It's great. Why did I ever want to leave? My advice, as corny as it is to push through the fear. Because once you get over that initial hurdle, then you'll find you'll settle very, very easily. Facebook as well. This is actual physical advice. Look on Facebook for people on your course, for your flatmates, and for people who have the same insecurities, if you have any, as you. Because that is so comforting. I was so comforted to find people who had similar worries like me. In fact, I'll put a link down there. There is a Facebook group for people who don't really drink that I set up when I was a fresher. So if you feel the same way, it's down there. Cool. Okay, I hope that was useful. Sorry if I was babbling a bit. like I say, I'm very not used to being very serious and telling my story like that. But feel free to like, comment and subscribe. Comment down there, have a conversation with people who feel the same way. And I will see you soon. Bye. How do I end this? How do I end this? I'm just gonna turn the camera off.